Just a good play by Kerrigan that time. He had the pressure and was able to get away from the pressure, hold on the ball, and pick up his receiver downfield. And that's a good sign for a quarterback. He can pick up his receiver after he gets hit back there.
Well, you say a game of inches. Watch Mark Seal. Just can't hold on to him. That gives Kerrigan time to find the hole. Throws it low. Champion slides and catches it.
1st and 10. The ball is at the 44 of the Argos. Draw play with Walter Bender. He decides to go to the outside. A good move. Bender's running extremely well.
Walter Bender has the good moves, and he was really motivated. And talking to him before that he wanted to play and do a good job because he's been out a few weeks with Zachary in there. Now he's replacing Zachary back in that backfield, and he's doing a good job as far as running with that ball.
Bender did a double clutch job in turning Don Moan inside out. And it's 1st and 10 for the Ticats. They are at the 31.5 of the Argos. 3:55 is the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Over the middle to Rocky DiPietro. DiPietro is actually going to lose yardage as he tried to outrun Cliff Hewitt, and he was knocked down at the 28-yard line.
Well, you take a look at Rocky DiPietro. He's just reading the linebackers and dragging across the middle and hoping to catch that ball in front of him as he did there. But that time he ran parallel to the line of scrimmage and started losing yards because he was dropping off. Get that ball, get what you can, and get yards up the field rather than backwards.
The ball is at the 28 of the Argos. 2nd and 6. Kerrigan going deep into the end zone. Intercepted by Carl Braisley. Kerrigan was looking for Steve Stapler. Carl Braisley makes the end zone interception with 2:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Argos continue to lead by 7. The Argos hanging on to that 7-point advantage thanks to a key interception by Carl Braisley.
Well, when Kerrigan throws this ball, he should have probably thrown a little straighter down the middle because Braisley was hanging back in his zone. But it's a great catch by Braisley, reaching over his shoulder to take it away from Stapler.
Another view. The same result. Braisley with the interception. Back to the live action. 1st and 10 from the 25. Movement at the line of scrimmage. Mitchell Price had made contact.
Carl Braisley had 6 interceptions on the season. You know, he was playing inside at that halfback position most of the season. Then because of some adjusting that they did on their football club, he moved to the corner. He plays pretty well out there. That was a heck of a catch.
Dave Persinger is the injured Toronto player. And the penalty against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, an offside call against Mitchell Price, so it will be 1st and 5 from the 30-yard line. Well, it's been an exciting afternoon here at CNE Stadium. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the action wherever you're looking in across the CBC television network. And we hope that you'll be joining us next Sunday afternoon from the Dome, the stadium at BC Place for Grey Cup activity, beginning with our countdown show. We advise you to check your local listings for the telecast time in your area, followed by the Grey Cup game itself. Steve Armitage, Brian Williams, Ron Lancaster, Chuck Ely, and I will be at BC Place Stadium to bring you the excitement of Grey Cup 86. Either the Toronto Argonauts or Hamilton Tiger Cats representing the East against the Edmonton Eskimos or BC Lions from the West. William Miller on 1st and 5. He's hit, fumbles. Hamilton's got it.
Paul Bennett, I really think, came up and made the hit in the hole. It's a funny place for the safety man to be, but it looked like number 27. I know we'll get a look at it. Coach Abilovich can't be too happy, but Al Bruno's thinking, let's put it in the end zone now.
Well, the key situations now are big plays. Braisley comes up with a big play on an interception and stops the Tiger Cats from scoring a touchdown, and now the Tiger Cats get it back on a big play on a fumble.
Mitchell Price initially filled the hole, and then Paul Bennett came flying up there to hit William Miller, who was stumbling. And the Ticats have a great opportunity with 2:10 remaining in the third quarter to move into a tie. Sideline to Steve Stapler, out of bounds. Well, you have remarked, Ron, a number of times about the strong arm of Mike Kerrigan and throwing those out patterns. He's not shy about throwing to those sidelines. He doesn't seem to be concerned about interceptions. He's throwing out there.
Well, you really have to throw it out there. You know, if word ever gets out and you get a reputation of a man that won't throw to the outside, you're not going to ever get any one-on-one coverage. That corner will just sit out there and he'll double your inside receiver to death. You have to throw it out there.
And what it really does is keep those defensive backs honest. Rather than having to play to your inside and taking away your inside curls, they've got to play you straight up if they know a quarterback is going to hit that receiver on the outside.
2nd and 10. Walter Bender to the sidelines, thrown out of bounds by Cliff Hewitt, about a yard, maybe 2 yards shy of a first down. Decision time. Mike Kerrigan looks over to Al Bruno to see what the call is.
I think it's time to go after it. That's almost 2 yards. It's more than one. And they're going to send Hobart in with Jackson and Hucklack. Bring this thing to even if they can make the first down and eventually score.
Ken Hobart, the star of the Ticat drive to the Grey Cup in '85, in a backup capacity this year, but now in on this third down gamble. He fakes, he'll keep, he'll get the first down and much more.
Well, we said in the last time Hobart came in that he is a threat to keep the ball and run, and there was nothing there. He wasn't about to give it to Bender. He didn't even put the ball in his stomach.
Great play by Hobart. I used to love doing that play because what you do is that you know the linebackers and everybody are pinching in close. And if you can suck them in for a second, and as a quarterback like Hobart with the running ability he has, you can get to the outside and you're able to pick up the first down and maybe able to take it all the way. Good play by Ken.
1st and 10, the Ticats at the 12-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts, trailing by 7 points. Kerrigan throwing for Walter Bender, short, incomplete. Again, Kerrigan looks over to that bench for some help in play selection.
The one thing, it seems as though the Tiger Cats have had the ball a great deal of the time in this quarter, and is keeping that offense on the sideline and getting them cold, and JC and them will have to get warmed up again when they get something started, if they can.
Yeah, your offense gets warm the longer they're on the field. They need to be on the field.
2nd and 10 from the 12. There's the pass at the goal line. No sign. Ingram did not get in, but they have a first down. It will be 1st and goal from the 1.
Great play by Kerrigan again. He's throwing that ball right into the stomach of the quarterback, of the receiver. As a quarterback, when you have those slant patterns or the quick posts, the only one there, if there's no underneath coverage that you see here, there's no linebacker under there, drill into his stomach and let him put himself in between the defensive back and the ball.
Again, that short yardage offense is sent in by Al Bruno. That means Ken Hobart is at quarterback.
I wouldn't mess around. I'd just tell Hobart to sneak it 1 yard.
Is he in? Yes, there's the signal. It was a little delay before the officials raised their arms, but they signaled touchdown for Ken Hobart, and now Paul Osbaldiston has a chance to create a tie.
You're basically going to have a one-quarter game.
I'll tell you what, we've seen too many teams not be able to get in from that 1 yard line. You got 3 shots and a guy that weighs 210 pounds with the running ability of Hobart and his power. Get it in there on the first shot. Don't let that team build any momentum by stopping you and handing that ball off deep. Let him do what he does best. Get it in there.
The point after by Paul Osbaldiston. Penalty flag on the play. He puts it through. But it appears, according to spotter Art Darch, that the Argos were offside. So, in all likelihood, the point will hold.
Offside, Toronto 35, decline, Convert.
And that is also the end of the third quarter. So, in effect, as Chuck Ely said, this Eastern Championship has been reduced to 1 quarter of football.
The way they've come back.
That's what makes me proud to be with this team, because they don't give up. And they're not going to give up now. And we're tied up. It's 0-0 going into this fourth quarter. So we're going to win it.
Good luck, Les.
Thanks.
Dwight Edwards on the kickoff return, and he is dropped at the 30-yard line by Ralph Schultz.
Well, you can see that momentum changing. That Hamilton Tiger Cat defensive team and special teams are all fired up. And now they're going to try to come up with the big plays to get that offense the ball one more time, because Kerrigan is really moving that offensive team.
Emotion is so important in a football game. And when we look down at the Ticat bench in the first quarter, it was very quiet, and the Argonauts were happy. Now it's changed around. Argonauts got to do something offensively.
A 200-yard difference in terms of total offense. The edge belonging to the Ticats. Again, Toronto in that short punt formation. Pass almost intercepted by Frank Robinson.
Now, you know that is the type of interception that Frank Robinson feels that he should have had, because they were right through his hands. But the problem is sometimes is he's not expecting. You're looking at the man that's right on top of you, and it surprises him.
And as Frank Robinson looked at that bench, I'm sure there were some on that bench who said, yeah, Frank, you should have had it. Second and 10 from the 30-yard line. We're into the fourth quarter. The game tied. The total point affair at 49. In case you joined us late, the Argos won the first game by 14, and at one point this afternoon led by 26. Leo Edwards is after J.C. Watts. J.C. Watts trying to use his scrambling ability, throwing the ball up for grabs. It's intercepted. Terry Lenny makes the interception.
Well, when a quarterback runs to his left, as J.C. Watts did, and then to turn around and throw that ball clear across the field, that's exactly what should happen. And it happened. The big argument down there, they wanted an interference call on Keith Baker, but Terry Laney went and got the football.
Well, the two defensive backs were going after the ball. When you chase a quarterback down, like Ronnie said here, and you come back in that far of the field and throw it back across the field that far, anything can happen. And that time, he got it picked off on the interception, because the ball's hanging up in the air. He really doesn't get anything on it, and just hangs there, and everybody's reacting towards the ball. They're going after the ball. As you see, Keith Baker goes down, and that's what they were calling for the interference for.
Terry Lenny with the interception, and now the Ticats have the ball deep in Toronto territory, and Walter Bender gets a gain of about 9.
Terry Laney from the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon.
Is he a happy young man? He didn't expect to see much action today. He's primarily a backup in that secondary, but with the injury to Les Brown on the opening kickoff, he was moved into an inside halfback position and has played extremely well. J.C. Watts should not have thrown that pass.
No, I don't think you'll get very many people to say he should have. He was in trouble from the word go, and he scrambled out of there.
Hobart is in there, short yardage, and Kerrigan, excuse me. They sent the short yardage unit out there, but Kerrigan remained at the controls rather than Hobart.
I tell you what, Don, I remember this situation when I was playing in 1972 when you're coming back. As a quarterback like Kerrigan, to come off of a bad game when you get beat up so much, and to come into a situation like here where you have a chance to win. You get your second chance to get the Grey Cup, because basically you got beat up the week before. So now you're very excited, and the opportunity doesn't present itself to get two chances at it, and he's making the most of it right now.
Well, Hobart's coming in now. They're about 2 inches short. Him and Huckluck are coming in. You can bet on who's carrying this football. What a time to throw, though, huh?
I was going to say, if you were in the game, I know there'd be a pass
throw. I'll tell you, if you love to gamble, this is the time.
It's amazing how this game has shifted, with the Argos dominating that first quarter, and then the Ticats slowly but surely picking things up in the second, continuing on through the third, and now they have it rolling again in the fourth. Hobart keeps. He's got the first down. Well, the last time Al Bruno crossed us up by leaving Kerrigan in there in the short yardage offense. This time he wasn't about to take any chances with Ken Hobart going in and getting the first down.
Saw Al Bruno talking to Tony Champion going on the field. They got Cliff Hewitt down with an injury with the Argonauts. I think he was telling him what play he wanted run, so we'll see what happens. Usually John Salvanis in conference with Mike Ferragelli in the press box, they call the plays, but I think Al Bruno is calling this one.
Cliff Hewitt is the injured player. That means Donahue Grant will be coming into the ball game.
Again, we have another situation. The Tiger Cats are keeping the ball, keeping it away from that offense, and that offense is sitting over getting cold, getting 2 plays and out, and that creates a problem because you want to establish something with your drive, some consistency. Run the ball, throw the ball, get things happening, get some feel with your offense, and they can't do that right now with Hamilton controlling the ball as well as keeping it away from that offense.
First and 10 for the Ticats. They are at the Toronto 26-yard line. 12:57 is the time left to play. The total point series tied at 49. Kerrigan to Rocky DiPietro for a first down. What an excellent fake he made. He looked off to the right to Tony Champion and then just wheeled and drilled to Rocky DiPietro.
On that type of a pattern, a 3-step drop, the ball's supposed to be gone quick. So he had decided he was going to go to the right. So when he looked out there, he didn't like what he saw, and he turned and come back immediately. DiPietro was alone, and he makes the catch. That's throwing with confidence.
First and 10. The ball is at the 13-yard line. Handoff to Walter Bender, and Bender gets inside the 10, stopped by linebacker David Marshall. What a turnaround by this man, Mike Kerrigan. After being intercepted 4 times in the first game at Ivor Wynn, coming back, and he now has completed 29 passes here at CNE Stadium.
Well, when you come off the type of game he had last week, you want to establish your confidence. You can't wait to get to another game and make up for the type of play you had the previous week, and that's what he's doing this afternoon.
11:57 is the time remaining in this football game. It's 2nd and 6. Kerrigan drills it into the end zone, incomplete. Gary Parker knocked it away from the intended receiver, Rocky DiPietro. As a matter of fact, I think he might have pulled it right out of his hands.
Boy, Gary Parker gambled and won, and that's what you got to do as a corner. A guy that doesn't have the confidence in his abilities has a hard time playing there. Gary Parker's been around. He saw what was developing. He went right to DiPietro, and as you say, I think he did take it out of his hands.
So for the first time, the Ticats have an opportunity to take the lead on a Paul Osbaldiston field goal from 18 yards out. It's good. And with 11:24 remaining, the Ticats lead 52-49.
From the Dome at BC Place in Vancouver as we count it down to Grey Cup 86. We'll review the 1986 season, including some of the lighter moments. We'll have the awards, pageantry, and festivity. That is all part of Grey Cup 86. You'll hear from key officials and players involved in the game. That's Countdown to Grey Cup next Sunday afternoon at 3 Eastern, followed by the Grey Cup game itself right here on CBC.
And we're looking forward to Grey Cup 86, and one of those two coaches will be looking forward to it as well. Will it be Bob Obilovich or Al Bruno directing the attack of the Eastern champions a week from today? At the moment, Bruno has the edge. His team has fought back from first a 14-point deficit coming into this game. Then they fell behind by 26 points. But now they hold a 3-point lead. J.C. Watts on 1st and 10. Over the middle to Paul Pearson for a first down. Up to the 52-yard line, a gain of 16.
Well-run pattern, Chuck.
That time, J.C. Watts got enough time to sit back there and let his offensive line do the protecting for him and read and get that ball down the field to Paul Pearson. He's got to get that much time to let that pattern develop and hit those receivers upfield.
That's right. He was ready to throw it, but he had Ben Zambiazzi. He had to wait till Pearson got past that linebacker to get to the open area.
From the shotgun again, J.C. Watts decides to run, gets a block on the far side of the field from William Miller, but is forced out of bounds by Robinson and Zambiazzi, the two linebackers.
One of the things they didn't want J.C. Watts to do is to escape to the inside of the defensive end. That time he read the hole and was able to get up inside there and pick up the first, well, 7 yards or close to a first down. You want to shut him down before he's able to cut back into that inside part of the hole.
I'll tell you what I liked about it. If I had Ben Zambiazzi and Frank Robinson waiting on me, I might have ran on out of bounds. He challenged them, but he's tough. He hadn't played that wishbone quarterback that many years and not be tough.
Second down play. Wide open is Paul Pearson. And he fought for extra yardage. It was finally Mark Streeter who drove him out of bounds.
Well, all year, Paul Pearson's been bothered by injuries. It hasn't been a great year for him. But you know what? When you're down 3 in the Eastern Final, there's no better time than to come up big. He's made 2 great catches. He found the hole. J.C. Watts found him. They thought he was going to throw short, but watch the effort right now. He bounces off of Bennett, takes a couple more hits, finally gets knocked out of bounds by Streeter, but what a big play.
Pearson goes to the bench. Mike Soroshka comes in. He's only caught 2 this afternoon. Both have been on this drive. A 27-yard gain on that reception for a first down at the 24-yard line. The reverse with Chris Woods. Howard Fields was waiting for him.
That time they happened to be in the right coverage. Howard Fields was to the wide side of the field, and he just came up and played his position, looking for the reverse, and was able to make the tackle.
Ellis Rainsberger, the line coach of the Argos, talking to Bob Obilovich and showing his displeasure with the way that play developed. Second and 9. Over the middle, complete to William Miller.
Well, you can't ask for any better coverage. Leo Edgerins at 6'4" on William Miller at 5'9", and that ball is thrown low, and it hits William Miller right in the stomach. That is a well-thrown football.
Well, the point is, J.C. Watts is getting a lot of time, and when you do that, you can read as he's looking right up the field, and the linebackers have come up, and then there's no underneath coverage. Like you said, Ronnie, throw it right to his stomach there.
First and goal for the Argos from the 9 of Hamilton. From the shotgun. Watts getting the time. He'll run this ball. Oh, good tackle. Howard Fields came up to spill J.C. Watts, but Howard Fields is hurt.
Well, he come up, throw that cross body block. Anytime you throw a block like that, you're going to get hit in the head, and he took one on the side of the head. J.C. Watts, you know, he might not be very tall, but he's still about 200 pounds.
Well, they got Fields up, and apparently he's going to try and stay in there.
Well, he's going to have to come out for a play. And you know what? I don't know who they put in there. With Les Brown out, they may have to go to Ed Gadavekis as a linebacker and play 4 deep people.
Well, they may have to go to Streeter on the corner because they don't have too many corners left.
Well, he's going to have to come out for one play. Streeter came over, tried to get him up on his feet. He tried to stay in there, but he had to go down on one knee finally, and he must come out for at least one play.
You know, there's an old saying, don't get hurt because you're going to have to play anyway. Now, they know that they didn't have anybody on the bench.
Now, you know who's going in?
Yeah,
Walter Bender.
I'll tell you what, now, if I was a quarterback, I'd be looking for Walter Bender if I'm going to throw.
I got to find
Let's see what they do. They're going to put him at that halfback position and let him force, I would think.
So Walter Bender has replaced Howard Fields in that secondary.
On the corner.
On the corner. It's second and goal from the shotgun. In the end zone, touchdown! They picked on Walter Bender.
Well, you got to do it.
Keith Baker grabbed the throw from J.C. Watts, and there are penalty flags in the end zone, and now some pushing and shoving taking place. Michael Bilovich was protesting that Paul Bennett had decked Baker after he made the catch.
Well, JC did just what Ronnie said, find who's in there, and they go right after Bender, and he just beat by Baker. Just that simple.
There was a penalty flag in the end zone. And there could be a rough play penalty assessed following the point after by Lance Chomik as the Argos are back in front with 7:35 left to play.
Well, J.C. Watt showed a lot of class with that drive.
And we'll be back with the Toronto kickoff right after this. 56-52, Toronto leading Hamilton, 7:35 is the time remaining.
Well, you see on the replay here, he just beats Bender by 5 yards into the end zone, and when he's back there, there's a little discussion going on between Bender and Bennett gets called for the roughing play. When these two teams get together, tempers fly when the emotions are close and the games are close.
The 15 yards tacked on the kickoff into the end zone. Walter Bender starts out from the end zone. I think he'd have been wise there to let it go, but perhaps not as he gets it out to the 27-yard line. But it's a 4-point spread. 1 point really doesn't make that much difference at this stage.
Yeah, you could have got it out to the 35, but, you know, maybe that ball wouldn't have gone out and they'd have had it conceded. But, you know, all good running backs think they're going to break it when they get their hands on it, and he's going to take a shot at it. They got good enough field position. Nothing wrong with that. That man, J.C. Watts, as I said, showed a lot of class.
I was waiting on you to break it in. He was so deep off of it.
Well, of course, J.C. Watts took advantage of Walter Bender going in there, replacing Howard Fields, and I was surprised that they put Bender on the corner, but they didn't zone up in that situation.
Boy, that was tough.
Steve Stapler makes the catch up to the 35-yard line, stopped by Kerry Parker.
Well, when you get a situation like that, when Bender goes in the corner, you've got to find him, because that's a problem out there, covering a guy like Baker one-on-one out there. And that makes it tough. Sometimes, like you said, Don, you probably should go into the zone, even though you're close down there to your own end zone, which creates a problem. But you have better chance in the zone than playing him one-on-one with somebody like Baker.
2nd and 2 for the Ticats at the 35-yard line. 6:47 is the time left to play. Kerrigan pulls it down, gets the pass away. Stapler makes the catch. First down up to the 45-yard line. Now let's go down to Steve Armitage.
Don, I talked to Howard Fields just a few moments ago. He had his bell rung. He said he will be back into the game as quickly as possible. He's up, he's walking around, he feels fine. He wants to get back into this game in a hurry.
Well, just ask him where he is. Bruce